Say you're planning a trip. You know where you're going, but don't pack according to the weather there. The trip will not go well. Similarly, knowing the purpose of your conversation but not keeping the people you're addressing in mind will have undesired results, especially when you have to speak for a long time. Think about this fun fact for a minute. Did you know the longest speech ever given to the UN was delivered in 1957 by the Indian politician V.K. Krishna Menon? He talked for nearly 8 hours while defending India's position on Kashmir. Just like every destination requires a particular dress code, every audience needs communication to be tailored for them. The second element of the PAM framework is audience, and it is a critical part. Whether it consists of just one person, a few people, or a large crowd, a speaker's job is to connect with their audience. But you can do that only if you prepare in advance to know what the listener wants from you. Harappa faculty Preeti Singh says, thinking about your audience, you also need situational awareness.
One of the most important things when speaking to audiences is to have situational awareness. Are you aware of the reason why you're there? Is it that you have a role to inspire? Do you have to inform a certain audience? A lot of what you say will depend on what your objective in front of that audience is that day. Also, the composition. Is it comprised of your peers? Or is it an audience made up of more senior people? Are you talking to young people? Or are you talking to more experienced professionals? All this is important when you try to think of what it is that you want to say to a certain audience. Also, do you have to be very formal? Or can you be a little warmer and anecdotal in your approach in talking to that particular audience? At the same time, no matter who it is that you're speaking to, it's important to have the awareness when you lose that audience or if you're losing that audience. How do you then change your style to adapt to a situation like that? And all that is what I call situational awareness. And if you have plenty of that, believe me, you can speak confidently in front of any audience.
Preeti suggests you find out what the composition of your audience is and adapt your style to keep them engaged. Whether you're preparing for a one-on-one conversation, going into a meeting, or making a speech, 2 things you must know about your listener or audience: why they have come to hear you, how they might react to what you say. Ask questions about the audience, especially their age, gender, and educational background. This can help you connect with them. Find out in advance the format and speaking time you will get with the audience. Also ask for basic details about your audience. Is it a large group? How many people will be attending? In case of a public speech or a virtual meeting, most conversations can become a one-way path. The speakers keep talking and the audience listens. This does not work often. It's important to keep your listeners engaged and responsive. This knowledge will help you decide the content of your message and the tone in which you deliver it. We will discuss both these later in the course. For now, let's stay with the audience. Tara's conversation with Miss Sen didn't go well. Some days later, her boss Sam asks her to represent Orange in a panel discussion at a conference.
Hi, Sam. I'm happy to lead the panel at the conference, but I wanted a clearer brief from you. What do you want me to talk about exactly? And why am I in this panel?
Well, Tara, you have always championed the cause of work from home and shown how it can boost overall productivity if teams are managed efficiently. So, share your views on how you can use a collaborative approach on work from home. Give them your insights on how this has helped you and your organization professionally.
You've been to many of these conferences, right? Can you give me an idea of what kind of people attend these?
Mostly first time managers, usually around 28 to 30 years old, with 4 to 5 years of experience. They all look for concrete usable ideas rather than long lectures.
Notice, this time, Tara made an effort to ensure that she knew exactly why she was participating in the panel discussion. Having understood the purpose, she now made an effort to find out more about the audience that she's going to address. Aside from speaking with Sam, Tara also writes to the conference coordinator and asks for the profile of a fellow panelists and which companies have been invited to attend. She discovers that her co-speakers are 3 senior managers from other companies, and the audience mostly comprises first-time managers from e-commerce and fintech organizations. Some CEOs are also expected to attend. Now that Tara knows that her purpose is to inform first-time managers and a few CEOs on her views on work-from-home policies, its impact on productivity, and how it's helped her professionally, she has to craft a suitable message to get her point across. Ravi Shankar shares an experience from his professional life that taught him the value of knowing one's audience.
It was early Jan 2017. I was new in the training profession and was eager to get more work. My dad connected me to his longtime colleague and friend who now ran a leading surgical training institute. I was told that they are having difficulty presenting information to doctors and other stakeholders and could use my help. I went for the meeting in Mumbai, prepared with my pitch and some case examples, which was great. But the issue was, given my background as a CA, MBA, and consultant, all my examples were from the business and finance domain. My audience was from the medical space. And so they sat in silence as I went through slide after slide, showcasing how to better present your revenue and EBITDA story. They were lost. I tried my best to think on my feet about examples from their sector, but there was too little time. In the end, my dad's friend, clearly overwhelmed with the business examples, sighed. If you bring your finance folks and I do a presentation on medical equipment, they would be as lost as us. Ouch. I felt really embarrassed for not having understood the audience and prepped accordingly. The next time you have a meeting or presentation with a new client, do not wing it. Find out as much as you can about them. You could look them up on LinkedIn, read anything that they have written online, watch any interviews they have given, or just call ahead and find out as much as you can. And then tailor your presentation for the audience's needs. More than anything else, it goes a long way in telling that audience that you cared enough to think about them before crafting your message.
The next time you're presenting to an audience you don't know much about, do what Ravi Shankar says. Put in the effort to find out more about them so you can tailor your talk to fit their needs. At this point, let's head to the third prong of the PAM framework, which is all about the right messaging. Before you go, here's something for you to think about.
Hey, do you have a favorite speaker? Is it a politician, a business leader, or maybe just a colleague? Mine is Barack Obama, because he inspires me. His stories are the most relatable. Can you identify at least 2 ways in which your favorite speaker engages you? You can use these techniques too.